So I really need to keep going quickly. So my name's Sally. Gemma very kindly introduced me. I'm 44. I live here in Glasgow, but I'm Dundonian. Have you got any Dundonians in the house? And I started my Forever journey back on the 23rd of March 2015. So I've been in the business now for just over 10 months. And like somebody said earlier, I wasn't looking for anything different in my life. I had a good life, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. I wasn't looking for anything. This opportunity found me. And I firmly believe that things find you in your life exactly when they're supposed to. They show up at exactly the right time, and it's about whether or not you're open to receiving that opportunity and taking a chance for that opportunity. So I'm going to very quickly try and tell you about a little bit about my life before I started with Forever, what's happened on the 10 months since, and what's going to happen in the future. So I'm going to start with my first slide, which says it all. This look on my face tells you exactly how excited I am about every single thing that's happened to me since I started the business. It tells me how excited I am about the people that I work with, and that includes everybody in the audience today, even though I've never met most of you. And it tells you how thrilled and excited I am about what's going to happen to me in 2016 and beyond. And actually now, has anybody ever Googled their name before? Just stick your name into Google. When I do that now, that picture comes up, which I think is pretty cool. So this was my life before Forever. I was typically not someone that you would think about approaching about starting a business with Forever, because my life was really, really good. And before I joined, I was a regional director with a commercial property company. And that sounds really grand and really clever and really important, and none of the above are true. None of the above are true. What it meant was that I worked for a company that took themselves a bit too seriously and handed out job titles that were a bit more serious than they actually needed to be. But I had a good job, and it paid me an awful lot of money. So when people looked at my life, some of the pictures that you see on the screen there, this is what they saw. They saw me in a really happy relationship with my fiancé Jerry. And we had stuff, because he works offshore, and I had a good job, so we accumulated stuff in our lives. So down in the middle there you can see our beautiful house up in Rutherglen here in Glasgow, and above that you can see our camper van, and we used to jump in that every Friday night and bugger off and go and have adventures. You can see me with 3 of my beautiful friends. I've got more of them than that, but this picture is us in Dubai last year. I've got a fully expensed company car. I've got a cupboard full of booze. You know, life's good, and I've got a brilliant family. You can see my family in the bottom left-hand corner there. So you would have looked at my life as an outsider looking in, and you would have thought, she's cool, she's got everything she needs, and she would never want to do this. So I probably won't approach her about it. So that's cautionary tale number 1. Don't be fooled by what you see on people's facade. So the next slide shows you what was really going on behind the scenes of my life. And the first one is credit card debt. I had loads of it. But don't tell Jerry, because he has no idea. So don't stick this on YouTube or anything. He has no credit card debt. So lots of credit card debt. I had a job that was full of spreadsheets and board meetings and travelling and all that stuff, and stress and anxiety. So that's the middle picture there. That's what I used to feel like when I thought about going to work. I used to sigh out loud an awful lot without really realising that I was doing it. People used to say to me, "You okay?" I go, "Yeah, I'm fine. Why?" "You've just sighed out loud." So I did that a lot. And I used to really, really look forward to Friday nights. It was my favourite part of the week, and I'm sure there's loads of you in the audience that feel exactly the same way. Friday nights were my favourite time of the week, and Sunday nights were my least favourite time of the week. It used to remind me of being 6, bath night on a Sunday. Kind of signified that it's now time to stop having fun with your friends and you've got school in the morning. And that's exactly what I used to feel like on a Sunday night. I used to spend 2 hours every morning on the M8 commuting from Glasgow to Edinburgh, and I used to spend 2 hours on the way home every night. So 4 hours out of my day, on top of a really busy full day, was spent sitting in traffic, doing that sighing out loud thing, wishing for Friday. And I also used to spend an awful lot of time away from home. Again, I'm sure many of you in the audience today can relate to that. And I used to stay in really fabulous places like the Travel Lodge and the Premier Inn. And all I wanted to be was close to home with people that I loved. So that's what people didn't see behind the scenes. So then this happened, right? My colleague and very good friend, Emma Watson, who's my upline, she's sitting in the audience right over there. I saw a post on Facebook, and she was flogging C9s. And I had no idea what they were, but when I heard the words and I lost a little bit of weight, I decided that I would buy one for me and my partner Jerry, because if I wasn't going to eat fish suppers, neither was he. So I did a clean 9, and when I take off my control top tights, I look like the female version of Marcus Leach underneath this. So it's still a work in progress. I've still got a long way to go. But I did the clean 9 and I loved it, and I was so excited about what had just happened to me. Like the girl on stage before me when she said, I didn't know what I was on. That's exactly what I felt like. And I was so incredibly blown away by this product that I had got involved with a conversation with Emma. I'm really nosy, cut right to the chase. Emma, how much money do you make? And she told me, and I'd signed up within 5 minutes, and I'd bunged it on my credit card. Because what's another 200 quid? Don't tell Jenny. So that's what happened. I did the C9 and I joined the business. And all I wanted at that point, my why at that point, was 300 quid a month to pay a credit card bill. And I thought, I know some fatties. I can sell that. I can make some money. I can do that. Don't know how, but I know I can. So I ordered my business in a box, and this arrived. And I had no idea what I was going to do with it. I opened it, and I was a bit disappointed. I was. And it looked a bit boring, and it looked a bit... I was used to fancy stuff, Estee Lauder, on the credit card. And then this arrived, and I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't even know if I want to do anything with it. And I look back, and I now realise that that was me toying whether or not to step outside my comfort zone. So it sat there for a week, and then a book dropped through the door from Emma. She said, I've sent you a gift. And I didn't open it. I walked past this Amazon packet for 7 days, felt a bit guilty every time I looked at it. And then I had my first planning meeting. So just to give you an idea, I'm part of a massive team of Geordies. They're all sitting down there. So I joined with Emma, who was part of this big massive team called Team Dare to Dream. I thought, what the hell is that all about? So I had my first planning meeting, and here's Emma and Zoe on webinar saying to me, what do you want from Forever? And I went, I don't know. I didn't know, so I started to make stuff up. I did. I thought, well, anything, I can have anything. Okay then. £2,000 a month. And Zoe went, that's easy. I went, okay then, I'll pay my mortgage off in 3 years. She went, okay then. And there it started. So that was the first little turning point for me, was my first planning meeting, that I started to realise that I had something really special in the palm of my hand. And then, these things happened. The book that Emma sent me was GoPro, and Gemma's already mentioned it earlier on today, and I downloaded it on audio, and I listened to it one day, travelling from Glasgow to Forfar to visit a friend. I listened to half on the way there and half on the way back, and it was like someone had flicked a switch. And I realised at that point how simple it was. If I just followed the advice that this guy Eric was giving me, I could do this. I could start building a team, and I could start talking to people about the business. And then I listened to Jim Rohn, and I fell in love with him. I wanted him to be my granddad. And I was mesmerised by all the analogies and all the stories that he told. And now I'm really hooked. And now I'm thinking, I'm involved in something really special that could really, really change my life. So I decided to take the advice of Yoda. There is no try. Do not try. There is only do. And I made a decision at that point. It was the 31st of March. I'll never forget the date. And this is the time that I decided to get out of my own way and to let this business change my life. So here's what it looked like. The first thing I did was I used the First Steps to Manager book that the girls in my planning meeting were telling me all about, and I used it as my Bible, and I learnt it inside out. I learnt the marketing plan, I learned how you could make money, I practiced it like a nutter. Jerry's thinking, what are you talking about? And I'm going, 25 case credits over 2 months. I'm doing all that because I knew I needed to be able to tell people about it. I did what Emma and Zoe told me, and I got myself a vision board, and I stuck it on the wall in the living room. And one of the things I did on that vision board was I set myself a goal to earn as much money working with Forever as I did in my full-time job, so that I could leave. Because now I really did know what I had in the palm of my hand. And I wrote my letter of resignation, and I pinned it on my vision board, and I dated it the 31st of March 2015, and I'll tell you about that shortly. I then went about setting myself some goals, and I started reading all sorts of things about goal setting and plugging into all the webinars about how to set goals. And then I organised my life within an inch of its life, and I colour-coded everything, and I crammed this business into the nooks and the crannies of my life. And the other thing I did, which everyone's spoken about today, was I really, really set to work building on my mindset and believing that anything I wanted could come true for me. So I'm part of this massive team, and as all of you know, you'll have a lot of haters out there. What's she doing? Or who does she think she is? Or what's all that crap she's talking now? And I decided, so what? I don't care what you think. And a lot of these people were friends and family. I don't care what you think. I don't have to explain it to you, but just watch me. Just sit back and watch me do it, because I'm going to do it. And I know that there are many of you, again, that feel that strongly about it in this auditorium today, and that's really important. You've got to be bulletproof to all that stuff. Someone called it Teflon, quoted earlier, and it's absolutely true. And they've edited that slide. It did have a swear word in it. And so this happened. There's only me, and I decided I wanted to build a team. So in April, I started recruiting, the 1st of April, and I had 3 people in the team plus me, and I'm part of this big Dare to Dream, and there's about 400,000 people in it, and I decided that I needed to start acting like I had a bigger team than I did. So I broke away, I splintered away, and I set up my own little Facebook group, Team Unstoppable, and there's loads of them down there today. Massive shout out to you guys. And I started acting like I had a bigger team than I did. So that's a big piece of advice I would give to any of you. It doesn't matter how many people you've got in your downline, get your team created, get your team named, and start communicating with them, even if it's to imaginary folk to begin with, like it's already happened. And dream really, really big. Lots of people have said that today as well. So Team Unstoppable was born, and I started to hit some goals. So in June and July, I achieved promotion. I went to assistant manager and manager, both in the month of June. So I did that in 3 months, and I'd set myself that goal, and I rewarded myself with a trip to Dubai with my friends. So that's, first of all, how it started to really, really positively impact my lifestyle. And there's me and my friend Denise, who's also in the team. She's not here today, and that's us having a glass of champagne in business class, flying out to Dubai, which was fantastic. And then this happened in September. The money that I made in September, I think I made about £2,000 in September, and I've now got 30 or 40 people in my team, and I realised that if I'm going to help these people be the best that they can be, then I need to first work on myself. So I invested in myself, and I signed up to a 90-day coaching relationship, one-on-one coaching relationship with a positive psychologist. And that has completely transformed everything that I do. It's transformed my belief, how I set goals, how I communicate. And it was expensive, but it's the best expenditure, the most sensible expense that I've ever had probably in all of my life, and it didn't go on a credit card. And then I qualified for Manager Summit, and I went to Milton Keynes. And before I got there, I thought, Milton Keynes? I don't really want to go there. And I got to Milton Keynes, and it was a complete and utter game changer for me. Not only was there fantastic speakers and loads of motivation, but one of the biggest things that happened to me there was I made some unbreakable friendships that will be with me for the rest of my life, and I know it. And so for that, it was just incredible. And I'm sure that you guys feel the same about people that you've met in this business. So, this is what's happened in 2016 so far. My journey is still in its infancy, and it's only just beginning, but the exciting stuff that's happened so far, on the 4th of January, first day back at work, I walked into my boss's office at 3:30 in the afternoon, and by 4 o'clock, I had left. I'd very, very amicably resigned from full-time employment. And so now I'm my own boss, and I cannot tell you how wonderful that feels, the feeling of freedom, and complete self-determination and choice is just off the chart. And for any of you listening to me today who want that, I want it for you so much. I want so many other people to feel this way, to just feel it. All that stuff that didn't fulfill me, it's gone now. And I can now carve my own path out of life. That's just the best feeling ever. And the second incredible thing that happened is, as a result of the coaching relationship that I had, I was asked to join a group of 5 really inspirational ladies, and the group is called Guru Girl Entrepreneur. And that is really all about building my mindset. So it's a daily thing, and I'm part of this